We've talked about your uniqueness. We've talked about your audience, not just demographics, but psychographics. What, Mario, are the two other really important factors in making sure that our pitch to our sponsor is going to land us money and get us paid? What are the other two parts of this?
Man. Dude, you got to know exactly what it is. So your products and assets. In other words, you have to know exactly what it is you're intending to pitch, or you have to know really what it is that you do. So in your case, you might be pitching your podcast. Mm-hmm. But then I would say to you, Mark, let's not just pitch the podcast. What other assets do you have that go in tandem with your podcast? And you might say,
so it could be the YouTube channel or the link or the Facebook group. Maybe I do a local event where I bring in local business owners and stuff like that.
You got a newsletter? You got a newsletter?
You know it.
You got social media?
Darn right.
So all of those things, you're going to be using your social to promote your podcast, your content. You're now thinking about doing an offline or virtual event. So now you have something physical. Then you have the actual podcast itself. But then you also have the newsletter that's hanging over here. So you got like 4 things right there that should be in a pitch. But yet what we do is we say, we would love to have you sponsor my podcast. And so what we're doing is we're automatically shrinking the view of what we have to offer. We're shrinking the value of what we have to offer, which means we're going to shrink the amount of money that we feel comfortable asking for. So
Brilliant.
If you group all that stuff together, you know what? For every podcast interview that we do 15 social media posts for that across the month or whatever the number is. We also have an event coming later in this year. We want you to be a part of that. And in our newsletter that goes out once a week, we're going to make sure that we drop this message of yours, blah, blah, blah. So now you've put together this kind of holistic view. And now you're in a much more confident posture to be able to say, yeah, and that's going to cost you $22,000. And a brand's going to look at that and be like, yeah, no shit, this looks like something that's worth $22,000. But I only got 1,500 followers. I know, but I see your engagement. I see these other things. And I see that you've grouped everything together to make a much more holistic package and piece. So that's the third thing, really knowing your products and assets, but how do you combine those? And in some cases, you need to combine outside of just you. You can find other collaborators. You can find another partner that maybe brings something to the table that you don't. Maybe you got somebody that's got a great podcast that's on mental health and wellness for entrepreneurs, where you talk about something else for entrepreneurs. But now the two of you together have this compelling pitch, but the brand's going to get action from both of you. So there's a lot of different ways to make these things really work if you understand.